Coach Vance Newgard here, Senior International Coach and Sport and Exercise Science Professor. So the RDL and the good morning are thought to be interchangeable. They're very biomechanically similar, but they do have some slight differences, which we are going to go over now. The main difference between the two exercises is where the load is and where it goes. So the load actually moves further from the center of gravity in the good morning versus the Romanian deadlift, which is very important when we talk about mechanical tension. Since the load is moving further away from the center of gravity with the good morning, what that means, it is going to create a lot of more tensile forces across the torso, require a lot more strength in the torso itself, and also the hips are going to move further back in order to counterbalance the load moving further from the center of gravity versus the Romanian deadlift. So with analysis, the good morning actually has higher activity in the semimembranosus versus the biceps long and short heads. The semimembranosus is a shorter muscle. It doesn't get to the same length as the biceps, and it is a lower force muscle as well, so it doesn't produce as much contractile power. There's a few reasons for this. One is that the hips are traveling back farther, so it puts a lot more stress in the glute muscles versus the hamstrings in general, and the hamstrings don't reach the same length as the Romanian deadlift. When athletes are analyzed performing the good morning with different loads, anywhere from 50 to 90%, the heavier the load gets, essentially the more knee flexion the athlete allows, which puts less stress on the hamstrings in general, and the biceps long and short heads are not going to reach full mechanical tension because they're not going to get to full length instead. So during the Romanian deadlift, the athletes tend to be more comfortable getting to a longer muscle length in the hamstring because the load is closer to the center of gravity, which puts a lot less stress on the torso. So even if the athlete allows a little bit of rounding of the upper back to get to a fuller hamstring length, they sometimes are okay with that, and it probably isn't severely detrimental in terms of injury either. A key takeaway is to actually set up a target so that you can standardize your range of motion so that you're getting full length in the hamstrings and the glutes, no matter how much weight you're actually using. The good morning should make your torso stronger while still doing a good job of training your hamstrings and glutes. But if your main goal is to put a lot of emphasis on the hamstrings in particular, then I would choose the Romanian deadlift. When doing the good morning, it's probably a good idea to use less weight and do more repetitions, because with lighter weights you're less likely to kind of screw up the biomechanics, and it puts you at greater risk of injury to your torso.